even read. Down you go. You stay there, Bumblebee. Alright. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another. Welcome back. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another show on Saturday. This week I'm doing my reading stats. Alyce did hers the other day, so I'm doing mine now. For 2020, I read 142 books throughout the whole year, and that is a total of 53,055 pages read in the whole books. And I see there'll be a graph there that has it all. Nice on display. For the year, I read 37 library books, 32 NetGalley books, 74 physical books from our shelves, wherever that might be, 8 arcs, one book from River to Lit's free reads. I think that was way back at really early in January or February. Didn't release that much. 5 Kindle ebooks and 2 secret readers. And also on the graph, I have the other section because I just kind of borrowed Alyce's graph to use it all, so that's why that section's on there. It's pretty good numbers. I'd like to kind of get our physical read shelf, the shelf section up a little bit, because obviously we have so many. We have a whole wall of books that's 4, 8, 12, 14 foot by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shelves here. We have a fireplace over there. We have another 2 bookcases upstairs, and then some other piles upstairs. We have a lot of books. Probably too many books for any one person to have, really. The next graph is to do with the rereads, and you can see that I read 15 rereads this year, 125 new books, first time reading, with 2 DNFs. These are books that I only read in their part and not in their entirety. I sort of only read like parts because they were both non-fiction, and they were sort of referenced, just like dipping in and out, so I didn't count them as actually read this year, but I have them for the stats, like I know when I've actually first picked them up. So this chart is I think kind of like age demographics. I think what I finally put on the actual chart over here. As you can see on the graph, I did 39 middle grade books, 66 young adult books, and 39 adult books this year. And you can see the percentages of how much they are in the nice pie chart. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's nice sort of split with middle grade, young adult, and adult. I think I kind of need like something in between the YA section, because obviously some books are like older middle grade, sort of like teen-esque, and some books are older YA, but they're not quite adult. So that's why that's such a huge overrepresentative proportion in the pie chart and the graph. But I think it's some pretty good figures in there. And this is it's one of my worst graphs. It's the fiction and non-fiction graph. As you can see, I only read 3 non-fiction books this year in their entirety, and 139 non-fiction books. So it's kind of like a fun year reading. Hopefully that will change going forward, because obviously, if you've seen my New Year's resolutions, is that my secret resolution is basically just that should hopefully be more than like 1%, I think it is, or 2%, 1% of 2% of non-fiction at 3 books. Hopefully that'll be getting some good double figures on it. This is my last couple small graphs, and it's the series read and non-read, non-series books. So it's books. So essentially, it's books that are parts of series, books that are part of series, which is 96 books, and books that are part of those books are either counting prequels, sequels, side world building books, like all the little novellas and the point zeros and stuff, And obviously the first books in the series, I've counted them all. And obviously I also have the non-series books, which is 46 books. But hopefully going forwards, now that I've realised, and both me and Alice have had feedback, a little bit of feedback about all these graphs. Oh, hair. Cut off. Don't have hair. Hopefully going forwards we'll break this down into like series book 1, series book 2, series book 3, series book 4, series book 5, series book blah blah. And like non-series, and also have all like the novellas and all the side books. So it's not just 2 colours, it's a bit more usable going forward, because it's quite a nice series and not series. Like, we have finished a lot and carried on with a lot of series, which Alice doesn't do that much, but I tend to do. That's why my graph is very much more series finished than hers. I'd have to cut between the camera cord for so much amount of time, but I just noticed it's quite obvious that I'm actually filming this at night time because of the shadows and everything. I do have studio lights. Hopefully make it not so bad, but sometimes you can't help filming at daytime, daytime, babies, work schedules and everything. Now we're going to do years published. This is my lovely, one of my most colourful graphs of years published. You can see all the years published. So I broke it down into, obviously, pre-2000, which we read 16 books for the published before the year 2000, January 1st on 2000, the year 2000. So you didn't really think that'd be need to have a big category for them, because there's lots of books from other categories, and if that was lots of years, because they read books published from like the 1800s, and it would just be very hard to read, very squishy. The next category is 2000s to 2009, which is only 13 books. Yeah, just 13 books, which is not the smallest, but one of the smaller sections. So hopefully that's going to get a bit smaller, or hopefully it's kind of stay the same. Going to sort of increase the older books with some more historical stuff and some more stuff that's written back, and try and get some more classics done, because everyone keeps recommending classics to us. Should be fun getting some of them finally done. My favourite number, which is the books published in 2010. Somehow read absolutely no books published in 2010. You can see it's a nice little pink number there, I think, probably. Be on this side, I think. But yeah, we just somehow managed to read no books published in 2010 for a whole year, which is bizarre, because I read books published in 1800s and books that been published in 2021 and 2022 from Road to the Lit and Secret Readers and NetGalley. It's absolutely mad that no books published in that 1 year. Next category is 2011 to 2018. I read 64 books, which is the biggest section of the graph so far, or I think in general. That's sort of the books. It's like a lot of the series that we recommended from a couple years ago, like I think that Irish Hands aren't published in there. It's stuff like Insurgent, which I cannot find. Insurgent and Legion. It's all the way over here. I think it's out of frame for you guys. Stuff like that. It's a lot of stuff that was just sort of published around then that people recommend, because it's still kind of semi-popular on BookTube. And when you go back to people from BookTube, like, they still talk about it, because they're just picking up for the first time. This is my first real year. It was my first real year of like proper reading, because I'd only read about 20 or 30 books each year beforehand. Which, if you're not a reader, 20 or 30 books, like, go for 35 books in a year. That's a pretty good amount, I'd say, to read each year. It's about 3 books a month. Pretty good number to read throughout a year. And then obviously the next category is 2019, where we read a nice 20 books from it. You've broken these couple down into a lot more, because they're a lot more recent, and a lot more books from the NetGalley, and catching up on that back catalogue of ebooks and everything that we've got in the 99 pence daily deals and stuff on Kindle. We read 27 in 2020. Books published in 2020, which is the year just gone. We read 27 books, which is pretty good. I think we probably would have read more if we'd been able to go to more charity shops. I think there's a reason why 2010 2011 to 2018 category is quite high, because there's a lot of those books that are ending up in charity shops, because they're like 5, 10, between 5 and 10 years old, and they're quite the sort of thing when you're moving out of your kid and kicking out to university or whatever, you're going through and sorting your books out a lot. Books published this year that we're currently in, we read 1 book, which I can't remember what it was, but it was through NetGalley. And for book publishing 2022, which is a long time away, hopefully things have calmed down a lot. We read one book, and that was through Secret Readers, and that's possibly one of my. That's definitely going to be a reread because it was such a fun book. That was the Patron Saint of Motion Picture and Vacuum Cleaner Repair. Very long title. It's almost a Panic at the Disco title. Was that sort of name? But yeah, that was a very good. Definitely going to be a reread. All right, we've got 3 pages left, 3 charts left. We've got the star ratings for the 0 stars, which we read 5 books. That'll be the DNFs, 2 DNFs, and the Harry Potter books that we read in there. Just if I've DNF'd your book for whatever reason, I'm not going to rate it because I didn't finish the book, so why would I rate the book? And if you're the greatest villain in our current day on fantasy, or greatest villain in literature and fantasy, we won't be talking about your books or rating them in the future, but we'll probably read them because they're so popular and they're like, yeah, whatever. We read 6 1-star books, which is quite good. It's quite a good number. Keep that number down. Like, don't really want to read bad books. It's never a good time. Read 9 2-star, which is a bit more, and you read 24 3-star, which is kind of like it's a bit more like the happy medium. And that's when like a book is. I wouldn't reread it, but I think I'd recommend it to people that like books similar to that book. If you understand what I mean. 4-star. I read 51 books. I read 51 4-star books, which is amazing because I think it's probably a lot of 3.5s and 4.5s that should have been crossed down to 4-star ratings. But yeah, 4 stars is possibly the most common rating. And 5-star books. I read 47 5-star books this year, which is pretty good. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. I have 142 books. That's what percentage is it? Yeah, that's 33%. That's a third, exactly a third of the books that I read this year were 5-star. That's a really good reading year, actually. And you got 2 more graphs for you, or 3 more graphs, 2 more graphs. Got the page count graph. So again, like with the years published, I've broken this one down a bit differently. So we have 0 to 99, 100 to 199, 200 to 299, 300 to 399, 400 to 499, 500 to 599, 6 to 699, and 700 plus. The reason why I end them on the 99s and not on the 100s is because we read 5 or 6 books that were exactly 400 pages. And I thought if they weren't in the 400 category, it'd be a bit more skewed to the 300 category. It'd be a bit more disproportional to what it actually is. Because obviously those books, they have 400 pages, but they also possibly have Roman numeral pages and 4 words and all the bit about the author and everything. So they do belong in the 400 category, not the 300 category, because of their size. They will be when you physically hold them. Yeah, so the most common size was the 300 to 399, followed shortly by 400 by 499. That seems to be a common sort of size. Like, I think it's probably about 330 to about 450, sort of very common size of books. We did read some chunky boy books. I think the chunkiest was It by Stephen King. But hopefully the larger books will get a bit more of them coming out, but maybe not. But I don't know, because a lot of books will have novellas set in the larger book series, like special fantasy and sci-fi. And I really want to read more better big books than less bad small books. Right, so hopefully neighbours aren't too loud. I'll do another section again. So let's just get back onto the graphs. So hopefully we'll be able to read a bit more. I don't know, it's not really going to be a bit more of a fair share of pages, because like books are published in like common sizes. Like the 300 to 500 is like a really common amount for books in that whole category. But yeah, just kind of really want to. I'm sorry, I had a really fizzy drink. I'm a bit windy. Yeah, just kind of really want to read some more big fat books big boy books, because they're hopefully going to be better to read more good big books than read less big books and less small bad books. But also I do have a lot of like the pulp books that I want to read, like the Edgar Rice, Isaac Asimov, Michael Moorcock. I can't think of any other ones, but like a lot of those like old school fantasy, old school sci-fi books. I have a lot of them that I really want to read because I've been recommended by a lot of people. I think it'd be good to know where genres have come from over time. And last but not least is both my favourite graph and my least favourite graph. It is the reviewed versus not reviewed. And as you can see, I didn't review. I reviewed absolutely 0 books. That's right. Of the all 142 books I reviewed 0 of them, which is one of my main goals for the next year, is to actually start reviewing books, whether it's on Instagram at Sean Can't Read, or Twitter at Sean Can't Read. Again, links in bio, or on the Bumbling blogger website, which you should also follow and sign up to the mailing list, or in video format on here, or even on Goodreads, because it's kind of a bit of a shame that I've reviewed no books, especially when group chats, especially when Alyce reads more books and reviews a lot more books. I know that, like, obviously she's been doing it for 6 or 7 years. Wow, that's mad. She's been doing it a lot longer than she's known me. But I know I talk to Alyce about the books. I sometimes interject on some of the earlier wrap-ups and mid-month wrap-ups. You can hear me in the background unless I've cut myself out having points on books, but I think I definitely need to get my point about books out a little bit more, a little bit better. But that's my reading stats. 142 books read in 1 year by someone who doesn't really read, or apparently, no, 142 books read in 1 year by someone who can't read. Well, I can read, I don't read, you know. So the running joke is that I can't read because I'm dyslexic, and I struggle sometimes, but yeah, I can't read. So, you know, follow me at Sean Can't Read on Instagram and Twitter, if I still use. I kind of hopefully be better at posting on Instagram as well and Twitter this year. Remember to smash the like button down there, click the little red subscribe button, ring the bell, subscribe to the mailing list on the website, follow me, follow Alyce at Everything Alyce on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, and remember to come back, because we do new videos every Tuesday, Thursday for Alyce, and I do every Saturday with Sean Saturdays. So if you like me, come back on Saturdays. If you like Alyce, come back every other day, because we know we have a schedule of 3 days a week, but it's only a schedule, and that's going to be a minimum amount of books you're going to get. Minimum amount of videos you're going to get about books each month, each week. God, what are my things? But you might get more than 3. You might get a 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. Or if it's December that you're watching this in, you'll have Bookmas. You have the 31 days of Bookmas. Oh God, that was awful. And then you have the 12 days of Bookmas after, so you'll get 37 daily videos, possibly 38, depending on how the year falls, because this year it fell onto a Thursday, so that's 38 videos. No, 39, but like it's like a 40 video run there, because just did like an unboxing and everything in the end. But yeah, there's like, follow us, let us know if you have any books to recommend. Watch Duck Hunt, Hook the Duck on Alyce does every month for the TBR. She'll link the playlist somewhere. Us on the channel. But yeah, smash that like, give us a follow, and we'll see you later. And I'll see you next week with another Sean Saturdays.